everyone. Welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the QR Code Show. I'm so happy to have you guys here today. And today's discussion is going to be about boundaries. I know, as simple as it sounds, boundaries. So let's digest that. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to give away like pieces of your time? You want to keep everybody else at peace and comfortable around you. So you say yes to the extra work assignment when your plate is already full and overflowing. You let your family dynamics drain your energy because that's just how they are. And then by the end of the week, you're running just like on absolute fumes, wondering where your time went. Today, I'm going to be discussing about the ultimate act of self preservation and boundaries. For a long time, we've been conditioned to think that setting boundaries is selfish, or it's mean, or it's harsh. But let's clear the air right now. Boundaries aren't walls to keep people out and avoid people. They are actual guidelines. So it's your foundation. It's the foundation to you. It's a guideline to you. And that boundary actually teaches people how to love you and how to respect you without you losing yourself in the process. But in saying that, boundaries work two ways. And so, although you want people to respect your boundaries, you have to respect theirs. And so the honest truth is we have to face that boundaries are also a two-way street. As much as we need our peace respected, it is equally important that we learn to respect the boundaries of others. We can't demand room to breathe if we aren't willing to step back and give others that same space and grace. And as always, true respect is mutual. So when you don't draw those hard lines, or when you ignore the hard lines that others have drawn, you create chaos. Your life begins to get a little bit unpeaceful. Boundaries are important because they are the bridge. Um, and that bridge is the bridge between burning out and also thriving. Boundaries protect your mental space from the noise and also the nonsense. And they turn true self care from a luxury into a tool, a tool that you need to survive. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed, you feel like you're stretched too thin, or you just want to learn how to build healthier, more respectful relationships across the board, this episode is for you. It totally is. So let's break down why boundaries are essential, how to set them without the guilt that comes with setting them. Like, we don't want to be a disappointer, but at the end of the day, we have to realize that if we don't set firm boundaries, we will more often than not disappoint ourselves and delay our timing. And so you have to know how to set the boundaries without guilt and also how to honor the space of the people that are around you. Okay. So think about the last time that a person called you. Were they relaxed at home or were they staring down a red light? Sorry. Or were they staring down a red light in gridlock, looking to kill 20 minutes of time? How were they? Were they relaxed at home or staring at the red light in gridlock on I 85 just to kill 20 minutes of time. So they called you. Now, let's be clear. This is nothing personal at all. No pun intended, because we all do it. We've all been away from home, whether it's on the ride from work or going to work or just stepping outside of our comfort zone. And we may jump on a phone because we have that time to spare. However, is it respectful to someone else's boundaries? Are you using that person as a filler until you get to your destination? What's really going on in that moment? Because back in the day, and we'll get to this, um, for those moments of riding in a car alone, we actually got to think and think forward. But how is it ever a true luxury for the person that's doing the calling and also the person picking up on the other end if that person is just calling to be a filler? So, no pun intended, but if you ever find, and this is unintentional, like people do this to others unintentionally. Like I've done it unintentionally to others, and others have unintentionally done it to me. Okay. So if you're looking to speak to someone on your ride to work, or you looking to speak to someone on your way from your dentist office, or you looking to speak to someone in between the time of you getting to your house, you're using them. um, that's not a connection. You aren't connecting with that person. You are turning them on like they're a radio station. And so you're using them as a buffer zone between your task. And I think a lot of times, more often than not, this filler space is unintentional. Like we're not striving to do people or do bad by people, but we are striving to hurry up and get that instant gratification, which back in the day, they had no cell phone on the ride home. You drove home from work, you went to work in the morning time, you came back in afternoon time, and anything that happened in between that time, you didn't get to call your spouse at the grocery store and stay on the phone with them the whole drive over there all the way inside the grocery store. Now you're telling them what to buy. In between that time, it was always a guesstimate. That person had a list to go buy and they came back with what was supposed to be bought. Okay. And so I just want you to think about this. What are your limits? Stop being a buffer to other people. Stop letting people use you. Okay. Um, People should be calling you when it's inconvenient for them. So they may be looking like when they still in the house, not to fill a gap so they make it to the destination. That's called using somebody. And whether it's unintentional or intentional, it actually stops it's breaking a boundary, right? It's breaking a boundary, because what if the person on the other line is doing some work, or maybe they're just tied up, but maybe they are home, they're in their comfortable setting, okay, but you're calling them in between the 20 minutes or the 2 hours that you got from your house to your destination, but that's the only reason you're calling. But you're calling them while they're in their comfort zone. You calling them when you're in your alone space. So I want you to respect yourself enough to take time for yourself and think when you're in that in between space of leaving your house and going somewhere. Don't always be in a rush to pick up your cell phone. It's okay. You need that time to think too. And also, for the other person on the other line, I want you not to be a filler. So take this from this boundary episode. Don't be a filler for somebody else. Use your time wisely. You don't know how much time you have left. And I know when the person be calling with the T girl, you be wanting to know, so you don't mind being a filler, but you wasting your time. That shit not gonna do nothing for you in 3 years from now and 4 years from now. You're going to forget that conversation was ever had. So stop being a filler for other people. Stop letting people use your time and your space, even if it's unintentional in the highest form, right? Because the shit be unintentional. But even with that being said, you have to know your limits. And so, what are your limits? Are your limits are to, I mean, just be a placeholder for somebody else while they're progressive? Because if they out the house, they moving, right? But if you inside and you at your peaceful zone, I need you to recognize that you're being used. They not in their peaceful zone. Stop being a filler. It's okay to be a friend. It's okay to be a sister. It's okay to be a brother. It's okay to be a cousin. It's okay to be all that. But make sure that you progressing and moving forward. It's okay to catch up with people, and it's okay to call them on your time. But in the same token, make sure that you also are prioritizing your time wisely because we don't know how much we have. And if we could stop being fillers for people until they make it to their next destination, maybe we can make it to ours or a destination. So I just want you to take that away. Now, before technology, and this is the technology trap, and I've experienced it. I know you have too. um Technology is very good. It's progressive, it's forward moving. We have all this new AI out and stuff, and I mean, listen, it's good. I like it. I like the technology. I think that in some ways AI does have risk involved and its downfalls, but digitalization has actually been moving in a really fast paced and growing direction, right? We've been seeing this go up. Um, we've been seeing the coming of a lot of different things created and how AI is able to help people save time. You save time because you can actually rely on AI to plug in some of the data that maybe you have to estimate, work on a project for, or whatever it is that you do. You know, the recipe that you was gonna go buy out the store. Now you could use AI to tell you how to do that recipe. You don't have to go and waste time going to the store or going to the library and looking up recipe books. You can just all hop on the AI. I mean, it's just so many, it's never ending. Okay, and that's my thing here. So digitalization and the way that it is has actually been um a very good thing in our lives, but it's also been one of those things where that it is so fast paced, like it meets you at the red light you sitting at actually. So you pick up your phone or call somebody, you actually like, oh, I got a notification from this app, from that app, from this app. Let me go click onto that. And you shouldn't be doing that by driving, but I'm just using this as an example of how fast paced technology has become to where we get this instant gratification by looking at our smartphone and our devices. Before the smartphones, the commute was a quiet commute, it was a private mystery, okay? And nobody could come in between that private mystery, not unless you was gonna stop at the payphone, right? But in stopping at the payphone, you must have really loved that person if you was going to take from your house, go to work, and then on a ride home, stop at the damn payphone, okay, to call somebody on your ride home. You must have really loved that person because, baby, that's a lot of time to pull a car over, stop at the payphone, then talk, and then get home. That's a lot of time involved in that. And so now a car has given us the convenience to have a readily available use because we have the hand-free assistant, and now the technology is on the dashboard with us. So it's so easy to actually place those phone calls, right? It's so easy to look at the apps while you're at the red light. You don't have to pull your car over any longer. But what does that take from the person that you're calling? Because you don't have to do it. That is convenient for you, right? But what if it's inconvenient for them to actually answer the phone because they may be at home or they may be doing something, they may be working. You're using them, but they answer the phone to stop working to pick up, okay, for that 20-minute ride that you have. But you knocking them off track. But the minute you pull up at your house, what you gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna call you back. I made it home. Really? That's using somebody. So whether it's intentional or unintentional, we have to get to a place where we know our boundaries, and we respect other people's boundaries, because I never want to strive to be a friend that uses my friends, um, and then I'm gonna hang up with them when I cross their door still. You know what I'm saying? Because I took them away from what they're doing, and now I have all of this going on. Why are you calling that person? That mean you really ain't got nothing to talk about with them. Now you getting a call on the other line, and you like, oh girl, that's such and such. I gotta go. Okay, so why did you call me in the first place? Did you text them before you called me? Like, what's up with that? And I get it. Shit happens. You always gotta go, but was the conversation you was really about to have with that person to take them away from what they was doing about anything important, of substance, substantial, significant, anything? So I think not. So we have to get to a place where we are being relaxed and comfortable with our own selves. We're trusting our own decisions, that we're not overly relying on others, or we're not overly calling people, or we're not overly taking people out their comfort zone because to appease us, and then throwing them back once we get to our next destination. How about give that person space and let them get to their their destination? How about they? How about giving that person space and letting them get to their destination? Um, yeah. And so I just want you to think about that. And again, this is nothing personal, no pun intended, because we didn't all use people for small talk till we arrived at our destination, which is highly unintentional, but it is something worth thinking about, just to protect your peace and to protect the other person's peace too. I never strive to be a person to make something or a situation or a conversation unpeaceful. And so think about that. On your 20-minute ride home, are you using that person, or is it really a legitimate conversation that you need to have? It's okay to trust yourself. It's okay to sit within yourself, and it's okay to think for yourself. You don't always need that instant gratification of looking on AI or looking on the social apps or calling that person for the in between time. Um, Same as in the doctor's office. It's so when you go to the doctor's office, you check in, everybody down looking at their phone, everybody in their phone like this. And I get it. You need something to do, or maybe you just handling business. But if you are one of the ones that aren't handling business on your phone, like sending emails and things that need to be done for the progressive forwardness of your life, I encourage you to don't look at the social apps. Maybe read a magazine while you're sitting there at the doctor's office. We have to take some of our mind off things. But I encourage you to just try it without the instant gratification of knowing that when you call a person, they're going to be there and they're going to pick up for you, because you're calling them and because they love you. Don't take a person's love for granted, and knowing that they're going to be there for you. So you know that you got them 15 minutes with them at least. I don't care if it's a son, a daughter, a stepson, whoever it is. Stop using people, man. That's what I came here to say about the boundaries when it comes to that. But the technology trap, you know, people used to sit with their thoughts and it was okay. Um, Technology has really eliminated that gray space. Time feeling is often completely unintentional. Um, And those people who call to use you for those 20 minutes, they are just addicted to feeling the silence. That's all. They're addicted to feeling that silence. They're not calling to use you. They just addicted to filling a silence with the instant gratification of having another person on the line. Now, if somebody is intentionally using you, knowing that when they get home or when they get a phone call that they've been waiting for, they're going to jump off the phone, 9 times out of 10, they're using you. And so let's talk about the cost. They hung up because now they've reached their destination. They reached their driveway. But they dump their morning anxiety onto you. Now you sitting at your desk or your dinner table and you completely unfocused because you're carrying their traffic stress into your day. And so I want you to think about the invisible cost it has on you and on your peace haven, which is your mind and your body. Okay. What's the cost of that traffic light call to you being on the receiving end? And you answer the phone because you love that person, you respect that person. And so every time you can answer the phone, you're going to answer that thing. But unintentional, unbeknownst to you, they're using you. But what's the cost to you when you have to now inherit whatever it was that was told on you? I mean, told to you. What's the cost of that? Inheriting someone else's stress. Okay. And sometimes it's okay if it's a one-off situation. You want to call somebody and you want to, hey, you have time to talk? I need to talk about this. I need to talk to somebody. That's okay. I encourage you, call that person, right? That's okay. But what's not okay is knowing that you're using somebody and taking advantage or taking for granted that they're going to answer the phone because it's you and you have time to fit in. You don't care what the hell they doing, but you. That's not right. That's not called being a good friend. Okay. When you call somebody, you're supposed to be settled and have time to dedicate to that person. Not unless, an exchange is happening where, you know, they stopping at the store on the way over to your house or something like that. But if it's just like, somebody you don't see on a regular and they calling your phone, but it's to get to their next destination. Think about your next destination and how you gonna get there. Because I don't want you to waste too much time. Time is of the essence, and it's nothing personal. But we have to, at some point, grow, learn, understand, and respect each other's boundaries and space. So, what happens when the boundary is unclear? Because maybe they're deliberately misleading you. And this is, something different. Okay, this is not unintentional. This is something different. This is somebody that's intentionally misleading you. What happens when the boundary is unclear because it's a deliberate act of misleading you? They say one thing and it sounds good to you, but they're intentionally doing something else. They're texting you for daily comfort, but saying that they're not ready for a relationship. So, this actually forces your brain into a detective mode. So, you're wasting hours sitting there decoding breadcrumbs. I need y'all to stop decoding breadcrumbs today. Stop decoding crumbs. Cut that short, okay? Um, I know it's a lot of people out there that, you like that person. It's male and female. You like that person. And you be happy as hell to get their text message. You know, you be happy. And they saying all this good stuff. They texting you. Um, but you know what it is? They're literally texting you because it's convenient for them and they're using you for daily comfort. And then they tell you, I'm not ready for a relationship. Yay. So that doesn't feel good, right? Why why set yourself up for that type of unpeacefulness? You could be moving forward and doing things. You don't have to settle for breadcrumbs. There's somebody out here for you that's going to love you. They're going to treat you right. You're going to know it's real by the way of their movement about you. So we have to start applying like different rules. So I will call this one like the verbatim rule. um, because mixed signals are always a hard no. Whenever someone's words are not matching their actions, that's called a mixed signal. That's called a mixed signal, and we can't operate like that. That's called a mixed signal, and we have to cut that thing. Don't let nobody give you mixed signals. If they saying one thing and it sounds good, baby, music sound good, okay? Your friends sound good. Your this sound good. That sound good. You sound good. If it sound good, but the actions are different, that's called misleading you. And so for misleading, if you being misled, that's a hard no. If someone looks at you in the eye and they state verbatim that they no longer want to be around you, why on earth would you want to stick around that? If somebody is saying, I don't want to be around you, I don't want to talk to you, if they just cut you off for months and they haven't spoke to you, they're, it's misleading, right? Because maybe they didn't leave on a bad out, they just stopped messing with you altogether, and that's fine. But to you, it may be misleading because they ain't never said any problems that they had. They just cold cut you off. A cold cutoff is a form of manipulation. That's a manipulation tactic. Anybody that has cold cut you off, they don't respect you. They don't like you. They don't care about how you would feel. They only care about themselves, baby. So, with this being said, you have to stop accepting breadcrumbs. You literally have to do what's best for yourself and your mental health. Don't stick around when somebody has clear and definitely defined their rules. No is no. No does not mean negotiation. Like the N in no is not for negotiation. It is literally for no. No way, no sir, no ma'am, no, nada. It's not going, Nathaniel, it ain't going down. And so we have to, when people tell us no, or when somebody tells you no, they say no, you have to respect it and you have to move along. If they told you no, that's what it is. That doesn't mean that you get the opportunity to negotiate their no. And so we have to start respecting people boundaries, even when we don't agree to them, even when we feel like it's something. I'm here to tell you it's nothing. That's the verbatim rule. And so no means no. And don't ever try to stick around when someone is firm on you for their no, whatever it may be. You're not a kid. You have to grow up. You are an adult. We are adults now. And when people tell us no, we respect it and we move along gracefully. And that's all that you can do. Okay? And so, because you want people to be respectful of your boundaries, you have to be respectful of theirs. And the God honest truth in it all is that No means no. It does not mean negotiate at all. And so more often than not, people are like, why? And da 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 da. Da. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. No means no. And for those that say no, make sure that you stay firm in your boundaries so that people respect them. When you stay firm in your boundaries and you stay on that hard no, you don't give room for negotiation. So there's nothing to negotiate about, right? A no is a no and a yes is a yes. And we have to accept things that are unpopular, okay? Everything not going to be around about us. Everything not going to revolve around us. And so it's okay to be told no. People say you know, you get to tell other people no and life goes on. But yeah, that's a verbatim rule. So the verbatim rule states that if somebody says no and they don't no longer they cut it, you have to move on gracefully. Okay. You have to. It's a must that you respect that boundary because your energy, your time, the things that you have going on for yourself, they mean so much more. Your peace is everything. And so don't disrupt your peace with being unaccepting of someone else's boundary. It's okay. It's okay. So when you negotiate a closed door, you take that ride to hell with them. Whenever you feel like you want to negotiate a no, you literally gonna take that ride to hell. And I caution you on that. You are physically present in your life, but mentally, you're going to be trapped in replaying those old arguments in your head instead of focusing on your own growth and being progressive in yourself. So I encourage you um, to know that you're worth so much more, to find that inner peace, to move along gracefully after being told no. Do not negotiate a no, never. Don't let someone else negotiate a no with you, a no that you've given for them with you. You have to stand firm on your boundary, and you cannot negotiate a closed door because you're going to take their ride and y'all going to go straight to hell together. So you don't want to be mentally trapped replaying those old arguments in your head. Focusing on your own growth is always more important. Okay, it's important for your peace. And in 40 years here on this earth, here's the ultimate lesson. Boundaries are the cash value of your mental well-being in your space. It's the mental cash value of your well being and also of your space. Think of your energy like a bank account. When you meet someone, you give them 100 points to start off on, right? They get the full credit. You giving them your black card. Oh, full credit. Boom. But every boundary that's broken, every boundary break is a deduction from that 100 points. So the commute call, the person using you for the 20 minutes out the day, minus 5 points. The misleading text messages from another person, um, maybe, something going on there, minus 20 points. The verbatim disrespect, minus 50 points. All of that pulls away like a magnet from the things that you're supposed to be working on and thriving towards. It doesn't matter how old you are, age is just a number. You always have the opportunity and the for at but we're getting old, okay? But you always have the opportunity. If you can accept accountability and ownership, you always have the opportunity to start again tomorrow. And then if you need to start again after that, you start again after that. But unless you start, you won't ever know. You won't ever find out. And if you are giving all your starts to things that don't deserve your attention or don't need your attention, or you being a buffer to someone, or you have a relationship where it's misleading, you have to cut all that off in order to grow. You have to cut it off. I don't care if it's a friend that's misleading you. I don't care if it's a relationship with a family member where they're misleading you, or you can, or they're just calling you when it's convenient for them. You never hear from them otherwise, they'll never check on you. Stop falling victim to people that prey on you. Get you get yourself on your rides home for work. Talk to yourself. Don't answer yourself though. Talk to yourself in your mind, right? And just, what the things you want to do, what you want to focus on, what you want to progress towards in a week to come, how you want to start your week off. Do you fast? Um, these are some of the things that you could do to like take your mind off things that are filling your mind in space and time away from the things you need to be working on. Time is of the essence. Yes, we always have the opportunity to start from somewhere. However, we don't know how much time we have to actually keep starting or restarting. So it is imperative and important that you protect your mental health, that you protect your boundaries. Now, in saying that, people can't respect the boundary that you haven't given to them. If you haven't given someone your boundaries, how the hell are they supposed to know? Okay? How are they supposed to know what your boundaries are if you haven't? People aren't mind readers. So unless you are able to articulate and communicate these things, they won't know what your boundaries are. And so a lot of the boundary setting, it comes from you. All of it. It comes from within. When you set boundaries with people, you literally tell them how to teach you, how to respect you, your tolerance to certain things. And so you have to advocate for yourself. You think, stop letting people use you. Stop letting people use you. You are not a buffer. You're so much more than that. What is your passion? What is your heart? What does it tell you to do? Huh? Stop thinking about the negative things that enter your life. Yeah, the relationship, it was negative maybe now, but maybe not in the beginning. It wasn't. And so just, have grace in knowing that, okay, the first part wasn't, the ending was very negative, and here's where I draw the line so that I can have peace. So I won't always reflect on those thoughts so that I can move forward with my life. It's okay. It's okay. It gets better, but you have to start from somewhere with your boundary setting and make sure that you articulating that to people, because when you cold cut them off and you don't articulate your boundaries, are you really trying to be a hurtful person to someone? Are you really trying to like not answer them? Are you really trying to be like a disingenuous person? So make sure you set your boundaries with people and let them know how you feel, and make sure that if you're on the opposite end, that you're respecting someone's boundaries that they've set with you. Okay? And for me, if a person cold cut me off, and I'm just using me, as an example, if I was cut off, maybe a friend, maybe that friend don't want to be my friend no more. I don't know why, right? And maybe I try to reach out, but they never articulated to me the problem they had. Maybe I asked, hey, what's the problem you have with me? Please let me know. Da 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 da. Maybe they never articulated because they say, it's no problem, but they still cut you off, right? That's manipulative. That's highly manipulative. And so I always aim to make sure that I'm articulating my boundaries, because just because you have a boundary doesn't mean that you have to be a hurtful person. Doesn't mean that you have to be a vengeful person about your boundary. Yeah, stand firm on your boundary, but does that mean you have to be a mean person? Saying mean is not a no. I mean, saying no is not a mean thing. Saying no is not a mean thing. It's just saying no, and that's okay. So how the other person receives that no is totally on them. That's not on you. But just being able to articulate it instead of just trying to like, oh, I'm gonna just be mean and this how I'm gonna get my lick back. I'm just gonna cut this person off. Okay. Anybody that you love, you're not supposed when you cold cut somebody off, you literally and they didn't do anything to you or they don't know what they did to you and you haven't given them that, but you just cold cut them off. You're manipulating them. You're you're really trying to hurt them. Um and that is intentional because, setting boundaries doesn't mean that you have to be mean. You can still be a decent person and have boundaries. Um and so every time somebody takes from your energy, by the end of the week, your credit is in a negative. You have no more to pour into the things that are positive. So then the next week carries the same weight and carries the same weight and carries the same weight because you've never set that boundary. Yay. So we have to do better. When we know better, we have to do better. And it's kind of like a mirror moment too. Um, because this is completely like true of yourself, myself too. You have absolute control to govern your own life. You cannot blame people for taking your time and taking your time for granted. You cannot blame people for taking your time for granted when you are just handing it out for free. You're just handing your time out for free. Why? Don't do that. Your time is of value. Put a currency on it. Put a stipend on it. Like, don't be a free for all. Okay? You have to control and absolutely govern your own life. And so this isn't a blame thing. It's nobody's fault. Okay? But it is a learning moment. Take your time back. Don't blame nobody for taking your time. You can't do nothing about the past, but you can do something about it moving forward. Time is one of the assets that you can never earn back, no matter what. You can never earn back the time missed, the time missed with family, the time missed with yourself, your self care moments. You cannot get that time back. Can't earn it back. Time is a true asset, and we don't know how much we have. And while, I'll repeat this, it's a good opportunity to start. You have to start from somewhere, but how many starts are you going to have before you set your boundaries and you start owning your time? How many starts do you need to own your time? When time, we don't know how much we have. You have to stop signing the checks for people who are bankrupting your peace. Stop signing checks for people that are bankrupting your peace. Boundaries tell other people how to treat you. They are the blueprint for, just think about, like, you have a house on a foundation, like it's getting built. So you bought this land, and now they have to structure the house on this foundation. Boundaries are the blueprint for your house. If you don't hand people the blueprint, they will walk right onto your property and build a halfway house right on top of your shit. They will put everything on top of your quiet time, their appointments, their bills, their life, their this, their that. They will put all that shit on your time. So make sure that you're setting the blueprint for your boundaries. Don't let nobody use you. Don't let nobody use you. Because I guarantee, if, the shit was in reverse, you wouldn't be able to do that to them. So don't let nobody use you. Okay? You're worth more than that. So we have to bring back the mystery of the in between. The next time that your person is on that commute call and a commute call rings over to you, let that shit go to voicemail. I'm gonna need you to let it go to voicemail. You aren't breaking anybody's heart, so don't own that. Okay, you're not breaking anybody's heart, but you're breaking a technology habit. You're breaking a technological habit. You're actually gently, okay, so you're not breaking their heart, but you're gently reinforcing them to sit with their own thoughts and own them while you reclaim your time and sit with yours. Stop being a time filler. Don't be a time filler for people. Stop translating mixed signals. Your silence is a training tool for the unintentional breakers, and your exit is the answer for the deliberate ones. Turn off the broadcast. And by that, I mean turn off the radio. That's not your radio. Protect your clock and own your space. I'll see you next time.